Hi, this is Colette Bartow, the Montana Teacher Librarian at the Office of Public Instruction. Thanks for joining me for Making the Most of the Makerspace movement today, our short digital blast. Just to remind you, the purpose of these digital blasts is to share ideas, expertise, and support for teacher librarians around the state. This is a short presentation, and you always have the option to ask questions and receive answers and look at resources. So this is also brought to you by OPI, the Teacher Learning Hub, and of course you, because I invite your participation, whether you'd like to join me as a potential speaker or just share your ideas. I look forward to hearing from you. Just so you know, also, you can check for links under the showcase, the little yellow tabs, or you can ask questions under the Q&A tabs. Just hover over the left side of your screen. You can ask questions even if you're watching this as a recorded broadcast rather than just the live session. So without further ado, I just wanted to share a few things that I learned recently about makerspaces. And for those of you who have heard the term makerspace before, or for those of you who haven't, it's really a movement that has been sweeping through libraries and schools over the last several years. And to me, it's really rooted in this idea that students need to have opportunities to engage in creative experiences. And through those creative experiences, whether it's building something that might be technology based or creating something that might be more along the lines of fabric art or even maybe what you might think of as arts and crafts, that through these things we actually get to a high level of engagement with our students around ideas and products that are very personal to them, but that also incorporate high academic expectations and the practice of 21st century skills. So one of the things that kind of revolutionized my thinking about makerspaces very recently, based on my attendance at the Northwest Council for Computer Education conference, was the idea that makerspace isn't just tinkering or getting together for arts and crafts. It really is a very rich opportunity for students to learn together, to practice skills of collaboration, to add that creativity. But the things that students do actually get them to be thinking like designers or engineers, or just having that empowerment that they're creating something together with other students, or creating something that is unique to them and very personal. So makerspace in school libraries in particular, I think is a springboard into that library being a place where students are honored in terms of their interests, and the whole idea is that, you know, makerspace can fit the space and the concepts that you have. So I just wanted to kind of say that those are the big ideas that I really took away from this recent experience that I had. It's not one size fits all. It's not one particular thing. It is what you need to make it in service of giving students space and opportunity to be creative. So with that, I just wanted to bring to your attention a couple of the key speakers. Andy Plemons is a teacher librarian from Georgia. He provided a keynote during the Teacher Librarian Summit and then other breakout sessions. Aaron Maurer is another of the presenter who really kind of sparked my interest in further ideas about makerspaces as well. Both of them talked about the experiences that they had. Andy, in particular, his makerspace started with 3D printing, and while technology-based or 3D printing might be a place that you jump off from, he actually recommended that you might not want to jump that far into the deep end. And if you hover over and go into the showcase little yellow tabs, you'll see a link to Andy's presentation and his ideas about makerspace. The same for Aaron. And Aaron really talked about, definitely some technology-based things, but he also talked about how that makerspace should be created, if you're interested in doing this, based on the interests of your students, and also with the resources that you have available to you. So both of those guys, I would highly recommend you check out their web pages. Their presentation links are also in that showcase from the Northwest Council for Computer Education conference. And it just, looking through their material, you kind of get an idea of the range of opportunities and some really good advice too. So I'll move on, and I do want to point out that Montana actually has a very active and vibrant makerspace community, and it spans all types of libraries and all types of schools, as well as community-based makerspaces. So some of you may be familiar with the Montana State Library Makerspace kits that can be checked out and circulated around the state. It's a way to kind of get an idea about the range of objects and projects and equipment and supplies that you might want in a makerspace. And there's a link in the showcase again to show you where to find out more about that. The Billings Public Library, with their beautiful new public library, they have what they call a tech lab, and it incorporates tools and equipment for students to produce digital media, recordings, and many other things besides that. Bozeman Public Library is one of my favorite places to visit, and as an early form of makerspace too, their Lego Club is a way to help young students, young children, all the way through teens, to get an idea about design and working and building things together. I just learned about the Helena Middle School has initiated Makerspace Fridays at Helena Middle School. And then the other thing, as I said a little bit earlier, there are community-based makerspaces. So Bozeman, and there are maybe a few other communities that have a community-based makerspace where you might pay a certain amount per month, but that gives you access to this huge variety of tools and supplies and equipment. But also, I think one of the most important things about Makerspace is that opportunity to engage with other interested, creative people who have ideas that can help you build and create the things that you want to create. So ultimately, a makerspace can be, as I said, technology-based with robots or 3D printing or a huge variety of things built around coding and that. But makerspace can also be that place where you create textile art, or you do other sorts of projects that aren't technology based. But ultimately, it's about those people that you connect with, the chance to collaboratively create, to bounce ideas off of each other, and to enjoy that space that allows us to be really creative. So those are just a few ideas that I wanted to share with you specific to Montana, and a couple of sources from the NCCE conference. But also, MakerEd is a website and a national movement where I'd like to suggest that you take a look at the resources that they have. And they're connected to Digital Promise, and there's a Maker Promise movement as well. But if you click on the showcase, you can get that link, or you see the link up above, makered.org. It's another place that I encourage you, if you're just starting to think about what is a makerspace, what does maker mean, this is a great place to get kind of general resources and direction about what that can look like. With that, I think I will move on and say that I would love to hear from some other teacher librarians who are doing maker spaces in their libraries, or even a group who would like to talk a little bit more about this and bounce ideas off of each other. We could create our own virtual maker space, certainly, to help each other plan. But if you go to the Montana Teacher Librarian Google site, you can propose a topic for an upcoming presentation. I would love to have you present with me if you have the time and the interest. Well, we can make it happen. But other than that, I always like to remind you to connect with each other via the Montana Library Association. April is School Library Month, and our Montana Library Association Conference will be held in Missoula, April 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, I believe. And so that's a great place and a great way to connect with other librarians and especially other librarians who have a makerspace experience. Also, the Montana Council for Computer and Technology Education is a great organization. Um, Also, think about joining the Montana Ed Chat to connect with others via Twitter. And I will be sending out a newsletter here in the next 4 or 5 days to get us kicked off for School Library Month. So those are ways to connect with other teacher librarians. With that, thank you very much for your attention and your time today. I hope that you are inspired to think a little bit about maker spaces and maker education and explore. See what you can do to help engage students in the creative endeavors that may make that difference between, them connecting with school or not, connecting with other students or not connecting. So it's a powerful way to make those connections across the curriculum and to build relationships with students. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.